I mean,
This is a perfect world.
There
is no beef.
There is no beef. Oh no! What am I gonna do?
I think
don't
a world
have
without beef wouldn't be perfect. I'm gonna be honest. The bougie Gucci. That's one. That's...
If you cut that out, you're a coward.
So just basically make Thanos but hot.
All right, sexy purple man is the perfect.
I didn't say it was purple. I just said you make him hot.
You know.
God, police sirens. Thank you.
Alan controls the police.
I do. We talked about corruption, but I didn't tell you because I'm also involved.
We're all corrupt here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Leave Your Brain at the Door. I'm today's host, John, joined by my co-hosts, Gretchen and Alan. Say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
We've all heard the phrase, well, if this was a perfect world, blah, 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 blah. Well, today, we're going to be making a perfect world. I have a list of aspects of the world that we will have to make perfect, and it'll be up to you guys to give your input. You'll take turns going first, and then whichever one I like better will be added to the perfect world. Sound simple enough?
Okay.
All right. Without further ado, starting off, what would be the perfect time period for our perfect world? Gretchen, you go first, because I've chosen arbitrarily.
Right now, the 21st century.
21st century? Right now specifically?
No. the what's the word I'm looking for? The essence of the 21st century.
What does that mean?
I'm just looking for a time period.
21st century.
21st century. All right.
Alright.
Alan, what do you think?
Now there's two ways we can go about this. And they both involve weapons. So, either, see, nowadays we have modern weaponry of guns and stuff. So if I go too far back, then we won't have guns, but we will have swords and stuff. And that's also cool. So, like, there's, I feel like guns, it's too hard. They've like, developed guns over the, let's go back to, like musket era. Like, guns exist, but, like, there's a lot of melee combat still involved because the guns are not good. They just exist. Yeah, like...
But can I argue?
Go ahead.
I'm with you on the weapons.
Uh-huh.
And the hand-to-hand combat. But then I like having sanitary living spaces.
Yeah, well, we can figure that out with the other issue.
And medical practice.
Oh,
We'll figure that out
no
later.
plagues.
We'll just figure that out later.
I'd like to add, we don't necessarily have to follow, like, reality for this, because it's the perfect world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it could
But
be
we're gonna
like
customize
fantasy,
it. Yeah, we
sci-fi,
customize it.
cyberpunk, steampunk,
Yeah.
whatever. You can make up a time period that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking to my
So
guns.
like futuristic-y, but with hand-to-hand combat.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Internet, but also swords.
Yes.
That's what I want.
I mean, that's basically why we like anime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Gretchen's thing is internet, but also swords. What's your
Swords, but also internet. Let's, you know what? No, okay, so not quite like modern era, like nukes and stuff, but like assault rifles and stuff. So like, what would this be? Late 20th century? And, but then also super powered melee weapons. And yes, I've turned this conversation into what weapon period do you want, not what time period. Thank you, Cecil. But yeah.
Okay.
So, like, it would be, like, late 20th century, because that's, like, assault rifles and stuff exist. I mean, I guess technically nuclear stuff also has existed for quite some time at that point. Maybe I might need to rethink my answer here. When were assault rifles invented?
I don't know.
No, I'll stick to my guns. What was it? 18th century
sticking to his
muskets,
guns.
Sticking to his guns.
muskets and knives and stuff.
All right. So we've got 18th
Plus,
century.
like George Washington's alive.
George Washington is pretty cool.
He's pretty cool.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Gretchen's answer though. Just internets and swords.
Internets and swords, baby.
Internet's too powerful. I can't beat it.
Podcast name. Internets and swords.
No, we keep coming up with these podcasts.
All right. Moving on to the next one. What would be the perfect dominant species?
Not humans, that's for sure.
Cats.
This can be made up.
Cats.
This can be real.
Dragons, definitely dragons.
Oh, that's a better answer. Dang it.
Totally dragons.
I was
Totally
thinking
dragons.
real animals.
No, we can imagine dragons.
Imagine dragons.
Do you think their name was a D's Nuts joke?
I should hope not.
That'd be pretty funny.
I don't think these nuts jokes were a thing when Imagine Dragons became a band.
I'm sure people have been making some form of D's Nuts jokes for a long time.
But like these nuts is a very unique version of it.
Yeah.
It's particularly
D's Nuts are very unique.
yes, they are.
Cecil, please stop.
And
listening
here
to the
dragons, yeah.
microphone.
Dragons rule the world. We basically have to worship them or they kill us all. But hey, dragons
That's
exist.
fine with me.
Yeah, dragons exist. And maybe we get like dragon human hybrids if there's humans brave enough, you know?
So Dragonborn?
Yes.
Dragonborn is my answer.
No,
Is
no,
that different enough?
So no, okay. When I said dragon human hybrid, I didn't mean like dragonborn. I meant like humans that can transform into dragons. Really, that's basically what I meant.
Well,
That's
in
my
D&D,
life's
that's
dream.
just what dragons are.
Okay, well.
Dragons can turn into humans.
Okay, well then just D&D dragons.
Okay.
Basically, yeah,
That's my life's dream.
Lore accurate dragons.
yeah.
And your answer was still cats. Unless you're copying. If you copy him, he just gets the point.
Vampires.
Vampires.
Is that too humanoid, or do I need to
You
pick like an
could
animal?
you could say human. if you
Human is
want.
an animal. What do
Human
you
is an
mean?
answer.
You're right. You're right. Vampires.
Vampires. I'm gonna go with dragons.
Dragons, yeah.
I picked the same thing.
All right.
As much as I love vampires too. Demons.
I'm basically just crafting a freaking fantasy novel. Yeah, dragons rule the world. We're back. Guns are not really a thing. And what's next? The monarchy?
All right. Maybe. So,
What's
what
the
would-
perfect government?
what would the animal situation be like in a perfect world? What are animals like? Is it just like normal? Is it just like there's only cats somehow?
No, we
Like-
have all the biodiversity.
All the animals except there's some substitute for like bugs and stuff that are less annoying and cause less disease.
All right. So Alan's answer is animals minus bugs.
Not my like just I don't know.
Animals minus annoying bugs.
Yeah.
I forgot we're supposed to be alternating who's going first, but it's fine.
I yoinked it.
I say pretty much the same balance. Minus any of the, or maybe not all. As much as I love dinosaurs, I think dinosaurs should stay where they
Dead?
are. Just for safety. Unless
We have dragons. What do you mean?
you're right, we have dinosaurs, but they leave us alone.
Yeah, because they're scared of the dragons.
All right.
And
And
big cats are friends.
So
They
like
look
friendly
like
tigers and
friends.
stuff.
And they also act like friends.
Okay.
If friend shape, why not friend?
mm-hmm.
But now they are friends.
But now they are friend.
Same with velociraptors.
Oh. velociraptors, but friendly. Okay.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I dream of having
You can
a
hold
pack
these.
of them.
I feel like that's how you would revolt against the dragons. You gather
I
the
would never
dinosaurs.
revolt against the dragons. I
I
love
know,
them
but
too
like
much.
I'm just saying, if you were theoretically, in order to launch a revolution,
I would
against
be
the dragons,
the biggest kiss up to the dragons. Like whatever you say, my lord.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if you were to plan a revolt, you would kind of need the help of the dinosaurs. I feel like most formidable adversaries of the dragons probably dinosaurs.
I do like your answer, Gretchen. However, Alan's just no bugs that are annoying is gonna win out. So
Yeah,
It's rigged again.
you won last time.
I was the host last time.
The time before that.
all right.
I also hate bugs. Not all bugs though.
Yeah, spiders are great. Love spiders.
They're also great because they kill other bugs that are more annoying as well.
Starting with Gretchen. In a perfect world, how would the country situation be? Like, would there be a bunch of countries? Would there be one big nation? Like, how's that setup looking?
I'm leaning towards a lot of countries of like I would say equal size, but are we thinking about like cultural divisions and areas as well, or is it just
It's up to you. This is a perfect world.
perfect world?
You define. You define it.
We just lay a grid. We get a globe, and we lay a grid over the globe, and wherever the grid lines are on the lands, those are the countries. So they're nice and like relatively equal shape. And
The British Empire.
So
but they're all independent. But we get along.
Okay.
Cause I don't want a bunch of or a few big countries. I feel like that's not as good.
Okay.
No, I want the big countries. I'm doing it. Big countries.
Big countries.
Big countries. And then there's obviously you have to have smaller ones. Cause like, well, actually, I mean, cause the thing is, right? Like the smaller ones would be the ones in the less popular places, and by less popular, I mean like weather. Like the world is a globe. It's a sphere. So like there's different weather. Like you can't have
The world doesn't have to be a sphere.
Is it though?
I mean, okay, we're making the world flat. All right, no weather distortions. Nope.
We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Weather is perfect everywhere. It's just
What
the
if I
beach.
say the world is shaped like a 20-sided die?
That's just
I mean,
a
that's
sphere
just
with
the
extra
sphere.
steps.
Yeah, I was just, that's not that far off a sphere. But well, my point was just in terms of the distribution of people, because even if you equally divide everything up, right, and it's still a sphere, and you still have normal weather, then like, okay, there's like 15 uninhabited countries in Antarctica for some reason, right?
Just don't
'Cause
make them countries then. If there aren't any people there, it's not a country.
Well, but my point is that you would just have the
Or it's
same
an animal
population
country.
distribution. I mean, it kind of basically is right now. I mean, polar bears and penguins and shit. Anywho, big country,
Big
like
country.
big, like basically what we have right now, but maybe less of the smaller ones to beef with. So like those get morphed into bigger ones, but not like as big as like we'll have like 3 big ones,
Okay.
and then we'll have like a few medium-sized ones that would be comprised of like what are currently smaller ones. Because and look, it's just there. I need there to be enough countries to have like healthy competition and like so they don't stagnate. And particularly, I'm thinking like government control. Because like if there's just one big country, the people in the government can just be not progressive or anything. But if you have like some competition and you have free-flowing population movement, then like. But the problem is if you have too many smaller countries, then they start beefing with each other, and then the bigger countries have to get involved in the beef, and it's terrible. because that's the current state of the world, I think.
That's why all the countries are roughly the same size.
Yeah, but then
So that everyone
just
is
gonna-
on an equal playing field.
except then the countries with more people are gonna beef with the other small ones and try and
You
take
don't know
over their
that.
control. I mean,
This is a perfect world.
this is a
There is
perfect
no
world.
beef.
There is no beef. Oh no, what am I gonna
I
do? I
think
don't
a
have any
world
steak?
without beef wouldn't be perfect. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Beef grows on trees.
Anywho, but yeah, I'm sticking with my answer. Multiple
I don't like
big
that.
countries.
I
Okay.
don't want beef that's been exposed to the elements.
Big countries versus grid.
Big countries and medium-sized countries. Although, just thinking about it, rip Japan. That's a small country.
Well, this isn't our world perfected. This is a
Oh,
perfect
this is
world.
a perfect. Okay,
We're
yeah,
creating
no,
from
large
scratch
and small.
a perfect world.
Okay, you know what? Just a range of, but more large, some medium, and then a few small ones.
Just put Pangea back together. I'm not changing my answer.
Not enough beach. See, if you put Pangea, people don't talk about the fact that if you put Pangea back together, there's less circumference, and that means less beach.
That
But if you
means
have it
more
split up,
ocean.
more beach. Yeah, but more unusable ocean. What do you mean? Like, yes, I can go
I
like.
don't think there's more or less ocean. I think there's roughly the same ocean.
Well, yeah. There's just less access to it, even.
No, not in my world.
Well, what does that mean? Okay. Yeah, big countries.
Big countries.
A range, but more on the bigger side.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna go with Alan's answer.
Big countries! Yeah!
Big
You like
This is sexist.
and-
What?
I'm kidding.
Maybe I am.
Whoa!
Alright. Next up, what would the government be like in a perfect world?
Is it my turn?
Gretchen goes first. You went first last time.
Yes.
I thought I went first.
No, you did go first
She
last
went first
time.
last time, but
Sorry.
I did steal her turn the
No.
second time around, so she can go
I don't
again.
think you did.
No,
it
you
is
go
your turn.
first this time. I don't
Okay,
You're going
communism! Woo, but it works!
Communism, but it works.
Yeah, so like, you just don't actually have people. People just, it's a perfect world. People just do what they need to do, and everything that needs to be done gets done.
I feel like that's a vague answer, and I could say the same thing.
What communism? Look, communism, but it works. Okay, it doesn't work in real life, but hey, in a perfect world.
I feel like I don't know enough about government.
Neither do I. I said communism. What do you mean?
Say, make a government that in a perfect
No
world...
government, but it works.
Chaos in the streets.
Is that your answer?
No. The dragons are the dominant species, so the dragons just tell us what to do and we listen to them. What
Okay.
was that?
Dragon overlords versus communism.
Yeah.
But it works.
I mean, you
But
could,
it works.
You
is
could
the
argue.
qualifying
Yeah, I was gonna
statement.
say you could argue about the "but it works" is impossible, or
No, because it's a perfect world.
but it's
Anything's possible.
okay.
Yeah. I would listen to our dragon overlord.
And the dragon overlords would be kind of benevolent and
Yeah.
assign things perfectly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give that to the dragon overlords.
Fair enough.
In a perfect world, what would the perfect town or city look like? Gretchen goes first this time.
Those stereotypical fantasy towns that you see in every isekai fantasy anime.
Elaborate.
You got, like your ruling body in the middle, or like the town square, and then everything's just kind of like neatly situated. Or can I change my answer to Bossing State?
Bossing
That took a turn. neat little town. No, Boston City.
It's Ba Sing Se, but like the typical fantasy town on the inside.
So just a big wall of rock.
I was
and a
gonna
little
say.
town in the middle.
No, the town like fills up the whole thing.
Okay. But a big wall of
But
rock.
like it's
and
in the
then
style
and
of
then a town in the middle.
yeah. But like you got your walls for protection. You know.
And then
Yeah, I
what
don't
what
know.
exactly makes up the town? Again? Just walk through it.
Like wherever, well, it depends on where the dragon overlords are living. But I'd assume that they'd have some like human staff to be, you know, like the envoy.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
like
how
wherever
abundant
they
are
are,
dragons? If they're common.
they're the dominant species.
Yeah. So there might be enough of them. Why do they need human envoys?
I don't know. Maybe some of them don't feel like talking to us.
Antisocial dragons. Didn't think of that.
Then I like a nice little like town square, you know, for any like celebrations or like festivals, and then like you know you got your shopping district, your housing districts, things neatly divided and organized, and giant walls.
And giant walls. All right, Alan, what you got?
Modern cities, but less problems.
I'm sensing a pattern in your answers.
Okay. Let me elaborate. So what do we have established so far, right? We have internet but melee combat. We've got dragon ruling class. We've got communism but at war. No, wait, which one won that?
The dragon
The
overlord.
dragons.
Dragon overlords.
Yeah.
And what else? There's another section. I feel like I missed.
No bugs that are bad.
No bugs that are bad. Honestly, no, I'm stealing her answer. Isekai towns, but okay, I gotta put a twist on this, or it's just yoinking an answer. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Treasure Town. Have you played that? Darn. Okay, so it's basically an isekai town, but like they just, you know how like cities have like suburbs, right? Well, it's instead of like having an entire suburb like offshoot, it's just like everybody has their own like offshoot and like their own little house in the countryside basically, but like it's right close to the actual like city center. So like everybody gets kind of their own space, but like to get to the center area, it's not that far.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I think I like that one better than Bossing Say.
You can give bonus points.
I can, and I won't.
Okay.
We're going with center
It's not
and
exactly
then
Ba Sing Se. It's
I know.
a fantasy town, but in the style of Ba Sing Se.
Look, if every city had just a giant wall around it,
For safety.
there would be no sunlight.
Not like a dome. It's
I
like
know,
a
but
fence.
They're tall.
Imagine
and there are
living
a
near
lot
the
of
edge.
cities.
Imagine living near the wall. You just only get sunlight for half of the day.
Yeah.
The other day, you're just casting shadow.
It's
All right.
fine, we'll adapt.
So how am I gonna write this?
I see where the premium territory would be. It would be right in the center where you get the most sun.
That's where like the town square is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun trying to figure out what all these words mean at the end that I'm writing down. All right. In a perfect world, define the perfect school. Starting with Gretchen. No, starting with Alan.
No school. No. Okay. Honestly,
School or school substitute.
yeah, I was just gonna say like, there's like, man, do I want everything to be defined when you're a child and you choose when you're a child though? Yeah, screw it. Let the children choose. You get like a spread of like all the different choices of like, okay, you got your STEM stuff over here, and you got your like vocational school stuff here, and you got like Adventurers Guild stuff here, and like all you got the whole spread of like different things that could turn, or a farmers group, right? So you got the whole spread, right? And then as you continue down your schooling path, you get more and more narrow into like, so kind of like how you know how like in general school is sort of formatted this way of like you learn sort of the general everything, and then you kind of funnel down into it, and like eventually you have your college major effectively, right? Is the presumed idea, or you just go into the workforce, right? So kind of like that, but like children are given this spread, and then like the further down you go, like the older you get, the harder it is to change and like swap entire like large tracks. So you can swap from like the vocational track to like the STEM track or something, but it's harder. But you can do it further down the line if you decide that's what you want to do. But the further down it is, the harder it gets, and like you just get more and more concentrated, and like swapping within the giants. Basically, like the further back you would have to go in order to swap tracks, the harder it's going to be. So like if you get all the way to like college level STEM, it's gonna be really hard to swap to like the vocational stuff. But if you're like in the math field, and you want to swap to like the physics field, it's gonna be a little easier, right? But like basically just a tree of paths that you start choosing when you're a child, and you can choose to try and swap later down the line.
It's like common ancestors, but for schooling.
Yes.
I will say I have a friend who's from France, and that sounds very similar to how schooling works in France.
Yo!
And she hates it.
Oh.
Everyone hates it. Because if you want to switch, you have to start back from the beginning again. And they're locked into like what they want, their path that they want to do when they're 16. And so if you want to switch, it's extremely difficult. But
the thing
as
is,
long
like,
as you don't make it extremely difficult,
yeah,
it can work.
The problem is too the like define one that's better, right? In terms of like, okay, do you like what we have now, which is you study general, and then you have to make a life-changing decision as you're 18 years old about what the you want to do with your life, and then you study that for 4 years and hope you're right, and that you can change majors midway through, but it becomes difficult.
My answer is school is free.
Okay, school is free.
Are there
equal amount of academic schools and trade schools?
Equal amounts. Okay.
If people want to go into, because I didn't realize that trade school was a thing that I could even do.
Me neither.
Now I'm realizing that I like making things. So, I mean, I don't. Equal promotion to all subjects, whether it's literature, like language, science, art, sports, all of them receive equal attention, equal funding. If someone, teachers are paid well.
I feel like that's gotta be yeah.
I feel like my answer is very vague, but I can't think of anything right now. More time to do arts and whatnot, if that's what you want, or music. Pardon me.
So you're making like the art path harder to get into then, right? Because if everybody I would say it's probably not uncommon to say that financial pursuits aside, that like if you just everybody did what they wanted to, that art would be more popular, right? And like literature, like the humanities would be more popular than the STEM, just by nature of ease.
Maybe. I'm saying that from my school experience, it seems like it's always, the creative pursuits that get cuts first. Instead of the sports. I'm not anti-sports.
Wow.
I'm just saying that other fields could stand to get the same amount of attention as sports do. I mean, and perhaps if they received more support and more funding in those areas, maybe it could, help everyone. I don't really know if I'd necessarily change how the school's organized, maybe.
I like pretty much everything that you said, but I feel like you didn't say a whole lot.
Yeah, I didn't.
And
He said a lot of things that I was already thinking, so I'm like,
I was kind of against Alan's idea at first because I don't like choosing, like especially that early on. But then he kind of talked me into it, and you kind of didn't talk me into anything.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Alan.
Let's go!
I just suggested benefits here and there.
I mean,
I knew what I wanted to do when I was really little anyway, so.
I did, and I still don't.
I'm weird, but I do like doing lots of things.
And
so.
choosing scares me.
As long as I have the option to explore other fields while I'm still in the track of my preferred field, is that something that's in your schooling system, or is it just biology?
yeah, it's a perfect world. What do you mean?
Okay.
It's a perfect world. Of course you have to.
You can take like electives.
Yeah. It's just your electives are from other branches. That's
Yeah.
allowed.
Experimentation, you know. What is the perfect store like? Let's see. Alan went first, so Gretchen, you're up.
Perfect store.
The perfect
All
store.
stores have to be the same.
No. Maybe. I don't know. Up to you.
I don't.
We can cut this one out if it doesn't go well.
I don't know what I would improve. Just make all stores Costco.
Maybe Costco's the perfect store.
Costco
all
is-
stores are department stores.
Not sponsored.
We'll just censor it.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know what I would improve. All stores have free delivery. I don't know what my answer is. You have an answer?
I mean, we kind of already have it. We have Amazon Prime. Like, that's a thing. Things are delivered to you.
Yeah, but that's not free.
Yeah, well, if it's a perfect world, make it free.
Yeah, that's what Gretchen said.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying,
That's my answer, the barter system. If I don't have money, but I make you a thing, we can trade.
I mean, I had a meme answer, which was just every store is just, like, the Legend of Zelda, like, Beetle, like, oh, thank you! That guy everywhere. just
Every store is Malo Mart with the updated jingle in it. I rest my case.
I don't know. I feel like you're kind of piggybacking off of Alan there a little too much.
He chose Beetle. I chose Malo. There's a difference.
I mean,
Is
is
there-
better.
There's a difference.
Is
Malo
there?
Mart is superior.
Yes, but also one could argue Malo is the Beetle of Twilight Princess.
Look, that wasn't my
Malo-
real answer, by the way. I just thought that was funny. It was the first thing
Malo
that came to my
Mart
head.
is an established building.
Yeah.
Beetle's just kind of
In Skyward Sword,
everywhere.
Beetle has an established building. It just moves around. It is a building that has been established at some
Okay,
point.
fine.
It just flies.
Okay, real answer? Wait. Yeah, just a flying store. The stores are just flying around, and you call for them to fly down to you. That way you don't even have to deal with delivery service. They
The
fly
store
around.
is delivered
The
to
store
you.
is delivered to you.
But what if multiple people want the store at the same time?
You just
Well,
have a whole fleet of them.
Yeah, like you have a lot of them. So you have like segments of store. Like, okay, so
You
It's
have
like-
one giant department store.
no.
But whatever departments you need combine together like a Gundam and make their way to you.
No, okay, I better idea. So
The store transforms into a Gundam, charges its way over to you, and then you just get an elevator in its foot or something into the store.
that's sort of what I was thinking. Is I just realized. So you just have all the stores up in the sky, and then they just have transport systems up to them. Like like a float, like you know, like the cloud that Goku rides on. What's his name?
Nimbus.
Nimbus. Yeah, like just little nimbuses will fly out and take you up to them.
Or the dragons.
Or the dragons, right? The dragon overlords. They're not. Well, that seems like kind of menial work for overlords, but
The young dragons.
that still seems like you think the dragon overlords are gonna be cool with their kids being fairies?
I don't know. I think they should let their kids do whatever their kids want.
Do you think the kids want?
I don't
Kids
know.
yearn for the mines.
I don't know. Maybe they want to get an allowance or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who is it judging? You have birds do it.
Birds.
Point being, floating sky store
Floating sky store.
with transport
Gundam
systems.
store.
I like the idea of Gundam store. However, it just doesn't work in my head. Is that
I mean, sure, all the products will get jostled around as it's going. That's fine. They'll just be secured in place. Just be careful opening any sodas you get from said Gundam store.
all right? So flying store.
Yeah, let's go.
Because I'm gonna be honest, half the problem with stores is that I just don't want to drive to them. So if the little Nimbus cloud flies to me, it's like sweet. I don't have to do anything.
Exactly. And then you still have to go there in person. It can still be a shared space of you don't have the issue of people needing the store to come to you at all times. It's like you still go to the store, but it's just the little Nimbus cloud takes you up, and they don't take up living space for people.
Exactly.
So less housing issues.
We have a question from off camera.
Would the little cloud take you to the aisle that you need to be instead of interacting with a shopkeeper?
You don't need to interact with the shopkeeper. They still have signs and stuff in the store.
I know, but what if you can't read? And you just tell your cloud, I mean, there are people who can't read. You tell your little cloud, hey yo, I'm looking for
See,
ointment. It takes you to ointment section.
it depends. If the Nimbus clouds have autonomy, then no, because they got that means they have to get I don't know if paid is this, but their time matters and they have to take people back and forth, and so you wouldn't have enough Nimbus clouds to just have people, because you've seen crowded stores before, right? You would have to have that many Nimbus clouds at all times.
I'm ruling that Nimbus clouds are also shopping carts.
That they're also just shopping. Okay, I mean,
Because that eliminates the
Clouds
shopping
of
cart issue.
holding.
true, it does. But I mean, you don't have as many shopping cart issues if you don't have the whole car situation and people
That's
leaving them
true.
out in the parking lots.
But people would just leave them somewhere. They just leave them at their houses, and then you'd have
No,
to.
they leave them right outside the door because that's where the Nimbus cloud takes you home.
Yeah, but then the Nimbus cloud is still carrying your stuff, so it might as well just be your shopping cart.
Yeah. Okay. So there are enough Nimbuses that just individual. They take you wherever you need to go and take you home, and
Yeah, the Nimbus system, it does everything.
it does it.
I have an additional question. Do people kidnap the Nimbus clouds as they do shopping carts?
Good
No,
luck
the
kidnapping
Nimbus-
a Nimbus cloud.
It just goes back when it's
yeah.
done.
Do you think
It
you
is
could
a
catch a
cloud.
Nimbus cloud?
Oh no.
I don't know.
I
I mean,
couldn't.
Goku can stand on it. so-
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
friends.
but
They're
it's a-
chill.
yeah,
like
it's a
it's
friend.
it's
Yeah.
he has consent.
What if you're not pure of heart? Because that's the rule for the Nimbus cloud.
Whoa.
No, it's not Nimbus. It's it's like an abbreviation that spells out Nimbus.
Got it.
I don't know what it
It's the
stands
Nimbus
for.
system. They're AI powered clouds.
No. There's no AI in this perfect world.
we don't need AI in this
Agreed.
perfect world.
All right.
There was
So-
never a need to develop it.
Flying store with Nimbus system. We're moving on.
Yes.
All right. In a perfect world, what's the clothing situation looking like? Gretchen goes first.
Anything you want.
Anything you want? That's a very
Freedom of
Nudist
Freedom of
speech.
expression.
that's a very
No,
bold.
no, it's anything the Dragon Overlord does.
I feel like I'm sensing a pattern. Is that your answer?
Yeah, but I feel
Okay.
like the Dragon Overlords would be pretty open-minded.
Alright, Alan, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna be controversial. I'm killing off high fashion. It's dumb. We don't need it. The like just the stuff that's like the bougie like Gucci type stuff of like it's fancy and it's like it's really not. I don't know. It's manufactured scarcity is what it is. So we're killing off that. We don't need it. Other than that, I mean, you can kind of wear whatever you want. Not literally whatever. You know, you still got to be clothed. Just cause like, I don't know. I'm not sure that I could live in a society. Maybe if everyone, it's the perfect world. So like, just don't be distracted by naked people. Forehead. I mean,
If it's the norm, then like.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
you know.
would people still get distracted by it? In perfect world? Are you nodding
Some
yes
people.
or yeah? That's the thing.
I feel like
Again,
some-
it's like some people.
There will
so
always
that's-
be an exception, and
Well, I feel like yeah. So I feel like you know clothes are pretty cool in general. They're also just useful for surviving weather. So, I mean, not much changed. I hate high fashion, so we're killing it.
Alright, we're killing the bougie gooch.
Yep. Don't need it.
Sorry, it popped into my head and I had to say it. The bougie Gucci. That's one that's...
if you cut that out, you're a coward.
Gretchen didn't really give me an answer, so that goes to Alan.
Yes, it was a terrible answer, but it was an answer. Let's go.
I give an answer.
How do you spell bougie?
I don't know.
B
B-O-U-G-I-E.
I know there's bourgeoisie.
I-E.
Bougie.
The bourgeoisie.
No bougie Gucci.
Yes.
It's not as funny written out. It's funny to say, but when you look at it, it's like, that's just what the words are. In the perfect world, what is the perfect pet/pet situation?
I feel like she already answered this. With the
Let's see.
animals.
Alan goes first this time. Yeah, but we didn't go with her answer for animals, so.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not
So
canon.
what is the animal situation again? It's just
It's
normal
just
animals.
normal
but-
animals, but without all the
With all-
annoying pests.
Okay.
And dragons.
Yeah, but that's a different category because you wouldn't call humans animals. You would call them humans.
Oh, by the way, I just want to clarify something. So all the normal animals and stuff, you like the dragon overlords just kill you if you like go cause species to become endangered and stuff. They just literally kill you off.
Of course.
A fitting
Yeah.
punishment.
Yeah. So we don't have to deal with endangered animal issues anymore. So if you can tame an animal and have it be your pet, you're allowed to. Why not?
All right, so it's just kind of free for all.
Yep.
Cool.
If you can tame it. If it doesn't want to be tamed, it's like you have to get consent of the animal.
Consent. Okay. Animal consent, and then anything is your pet. All right. Is that? Are you just? That's it.
Let's go, another
I don't know
point!
what else to say.
You're just giving him the point. Okay.
Unless they can talk. Can I make them talk?
Do you
or is
want
that
your...
not what you're asking?
Okay,
That's not really what I'm asking.
That's not what you're asking.
also, do you really...
Bigger cats.
Be kind of nice,
To make
big
it a
fluffy.
little different. Specifically snow leopards, I like those a lot.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
But I feel like you can kind of do that in Alan's answer. As
Yeah,
long as they
that's
give you
why I
consent.
basically said what
Yeah.
he said.
Pet consent. Look at us giving rights to animals.
Oh, yeah. Okay, but I just want to touch on the point that you talked about of, like, having your pet speak to you. Do you really want your pet to speak? I feel like everybody wants their pet to speak to them until they can actually hear their pet speak to them, and then they hate it. Because it's just... Food, water, food, water, food, water, food, water. Play with me, 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 play with me.
It would just be like having a small child running around.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Except they never grow up really. They grow up a
Yeah.
little bit, but not a
Cecil
lot.
would be really annoying.
That's
Cecil
what I mean,
already
like-
is really annoying.
Do you really want him to actually be able to speak to you?
Pets also see too much.
Yeah.
That's true. If they could tell other people. Oh no.
You wouldn't be able to trust your pet with your deepest, darkest secrets at 3 a.m. anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Or use it as therapy.
I think we had a question.
What if they had an on and off button? Kind of like, today you can speak animal, today you speak human.
See, this is why Stevie should be on the podcast instead of one of you guys.
I'm just saying. If I could hear Cecil's thoughts being like, Mother, please. But then you can therapy time with your cat. And then when other people are around, you're like, shut
I
up.
feel like this is going against the animal rights issue. We're just like, we decide everything.
Consensually.
we decide everything. I'm gonna shut you off, and then you're gonna be my forced therapy pet. And then when you want anything, I'm just gonna shut you off. I feel like we destroyed the essence of the
We
animal
support
rights.
women's rights and wrongs.
Next up, in a perfect world, what are plants like? You can come up with new plants. You can get rid of them entirely. The floor is yours. Gretchen goes first this time.
They're everywhere. I like plants a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if we had plants everywhere, we would have better air quality. We also need ants
Okay.
and horns.
Okay.
Basically like fantasy sentient plants would be pretty cool. If you could have plants that like help you around the house, you know.
Mm.
You could get
Consensually.
Consensual. Yeah, you enter
Plant
like a
rights.
contract agreement.
What do you do for the plants? In exchange.
Provide them the house.
Whatever they want. I don't know. Whatever you agree upon in your agreement.
I feel like you wouldn't have many plant pets. So what could you give to them?
Water.
So it's a slave relationship.
No.
I let you live,
No.
and you do my chores for me.
He's ruining my He's ruining my fantasy.
Sabotage.
Hey, sabotage is fair game.
Let's go.
I just think that we need more plants that can do whatever they want to do because that'd be fun and also kind of terrifying, you know.
See,
Add a little bit of excitement into your life.
I'm gonna sort of work off of that, in that like, we need more plants, but my method of getting more plants is simply that the plants are better at defending themselves. Okay, that's the real issue here. Is that like when somebody goes to chop down a tree, they just chop down the tree, easy peasy. It can't fight back. Like, you know how like Venus flytraps can actually like eat things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they need more defense mechanisms.
We need
More
so you're saying we
poisons.
need more.
More.
Okay.
They can fight back. Basically, ants.
That's what I already said.
Well, you just said
Having
they have
ants.
ants, but I'm saying
And
don't
horns.
actually have ants, but like they just have better defense mechanisms. So like
No,
better
we need
poisons.
the ants.
I mean, ants are
We
pretty
need
cool.
the ants. They are the guardians of the plants of the world.
If you choose ants, I will not be offended. Ants are pretty cool.
Offended.
You can assign the point now.
I liked where you were going, Alan, but I feel like you just weren't specific enough. So I'm gonna give it to Gretchen here. Also, I like the idea of little house plants just doing things for me.
Would be nice, but again, slavery.
No,
God,
no, it's
totally
they
slavery.
love it.
they love it.
I take very good care
I'm
of
just-
my plants.
That's
okay?
that's what they say about the children in the mines. No, they love it. We pay them under minimum wage, but they love it.
Yeah, give a kid a
Look, if the
pickaxe.
plant
It's like
wants to
they're
get
playing
paid,
Minecraft.
I'll pay them. If they want to go and buy little things for themselves, then I'll pay them. It's whatever you agree. It's consent, Alan.
Look, it's like Disney movies. You just sing to them or something. You serenade
I love
them.
that.
You provide them enrichment, and they do your chores for you.
Slavery.
No, it's mutually beneficial.
It's mutualism.
Yeah, it's
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, it's symbiosis.
Yeah. I rest my case. It's slavery.
No,
John and Gretchen are for slavery.
no. Moving on. All right. Everyone knows that you have to have a good villain. So in a perfect world, what is the perfect villain? Alan, you get to go first.
Immediately, they have to be hot. Regardless of what, they're hot.
I
Absolutely.
feel like we're gonna have the same answer for
Yeah, this is the problem. We were very aligned on this.
This is why going first is an advantage.
Yeah, so first step, they absolutely must be hot. Second step, they gotta have some moral grayness to them. So, like, they're a villain, right? What they're doing is definitely wrong, but, like, they've got a reason behind it. There's some sort of reasoning. Like, a lot of people like Thanos because, like, oh, overpopulation in the world is, like, an actual problem. And you deal. But the problem with Thanos is that he's ugly AF, okay? That's the problem with him. So just basically make Thanos but hot.
All right. Sexy purple man is the perfect
I didn't say
villain.
he was purple. I just said you make him hot. I'm saying he's gotta have the same moral grayness to him. And it doesn't have to be a he, just to clarify.
Sexy purple man, woman, or other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the perfect
Doesn't
villain.
have to be purple, again.
Well, you said Thanos, and Thanos is...
Look,
I
okay.
feel like that's defining...
I just feel like Thanos was a
That's-
popular villain.
Yeah, and I feel like he has two defining characteristics. He's purple, and he's got a huge chin.
My defining, I think he has one defining characteristic, and then he's ugly as Sorry, not sorry, Thanos. I don't like the way you look.
Okay, maybe purple, sexy man, woman, or other, morally
Purple
gray.
is optional.
Morally purple.
Morally purple, yeah.
You got anything, Gretchen?
Bonus points if they're vampires or demons or evil dragons.
Evil dragon is good.
Ooh, well, I didn't. I mean,
Or
it didn't have to be a
werewolves
human.
or
It could be an evil dragon human.
uh,
I like that.
Doesn't have to be a dragon, but they do have to be hot.
they have a sad backstory,
Mm.
so you relate to them.
Morally gray.
I feel like it's a little bit
It's
different.
a bit
It is a
different.
little
It's
bit different.
different.
But usually, like, I don't know.
It's
Can
more
you
in
think
depth.
of a like morally gray villain that doesn't have a sad backstory of some sort? Because I feel like they're morally gray because they have a sad backstory. Oftentimes, like their reasoning is somewhat valid, but it's not a valid.
Yeah, but you
conclusion.
didn't say backstory, and she did.
That's true. I didn't.
Or they could be absolutely just completely unhinged and psychotic
Okay.
and have no reasoning. Like just pure chaotic evil.
So we've got some
Or
variety.
rich.
Man,
They
that'd
all
be
have to
rich.
be rich
Yeah.
too. It just comes with the territory.
Why did they have to be rich?
Here. How else are they gonna fund their schemes?
Exactly.
Just get other like-minded people that you rope into it. How else do villains do things?
So now you're for slavery?
Well, I'm not for it. It's a villain for a reason. What do you mean? The villain has slaves because they're a villain. They got goons.
Villain's goon.
No, you goon to the villain.
And that's why they have their servants.
Exactly.
They usually have some kind of like dark pointy tower.
Dark pointy tower.
I was missing the evil abode. I did not mention anything about evil abodes.
Spooky ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
They dress nice.
Of course.
But I feel like that.
I feel like it falls into the category of hot, yeah.
Yeah.
I propose an idea.
Alan's
If we
proposing.
tie, we do rock, paper, scissors, best of 3.
It's not going to be a tie.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Did you just pick an odd number of topics specifically so it wouldn't be a tie?
No,
Oh.
I didn't think that far ahead.
Oh, okay.
You've been winning like every single one.
Yeah! I'm gonna make a perfect world.
So to recap, Alan's perfect villain, hot and morally gray.
Yup.
Gretchen's perfect villain, a whole bunch
Hot,
of different
morally
characteristics.
gray, sad backstory.
She only gets points for the differential, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember money.
Unhinged sometimes.
Or unhinged. They could be like either like really intelligent or fully like unhinged. Or they could be intelligent
You can
and
be both.
unhinged.
I was gonna say you can totally be both. That is
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, yeah.
You like vampires and demons and dragons.
Yeah.
Also, I think the whole scary spooky abode thing.
Spooky abode.
I didn't mention
Spooky
anything about
Tall,
layers.
dark, pointy towers is pretty common.
It's common, but is that what you want? Is that what it is in a perfect world? You don't have to choose what's common.
I mean, they look pretty cool.
Okay.
Have you seen Sauron's tower? Like, come on.
Pretty iconic spooky tower.
Yeah,
They
I don't
usually
know.
have lots of spikes just like incorporated.
I like spooky laboratories. You know, thunderstorms in the background, big gray building.
You can have your laboratory at the top of the tower.
Yeah, you can
But
have the
laboratories
lab
are
in
wide.
the tower. Towers can be
Wide tower.
I feel like by definition, it's no longer a tower at that point. It's just a skyscraper.
Oh yeah, a tower.
A form of tower.
What do skyscrapers do? They tower over other things.
That's true, but like I don't
And
know.
if you do tower, you are tower.
The host said it, so it's.
I don't know if I blew your
We're
mind.
moving on. We're
or-
moving on.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Assign point.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one to Gretchen. She was just a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
And I really like the backstory, and I like the inclusion of the dragons, because of course, if the ruling class has got to have some bad eggs.
Yeah, that's true.
In a perfect world, they're gonna be perfectly bad eggs.
And an evil dragon is even more attractive than a good dragon.
All right.
They didn't stop at that stop sign.
That's the real villain right there.
Yeah. You know, one mandatory part of the perfect world, just like again, the whole dragon overlord. Just people like that, just executed. Just
The dragon overlord.
Just smoke.
If
on
you
the
don't
spot.
use your turn signal, you die.
I'm sorry, elderly people. I don't think you want to drive anymore. Because if you forget that turn signal, you just get smote.
Smoke.
I feel like we've got enough solutions to where you don't need to drive as an elderly person anyways. So
All right, and that's gonna be it for my topics here.
okay.
So we're gonna go over what the perfect world is.
Oh, I'm so ready.
as defined by us. So the perfect world is ruled by dragon overlords. It's roughly similar animals to what we have, but just annoying bugs are gone. We got some big countries and some small countries. Similar to what we have today, but just a lot less. Like, number of countries. We've got... What is this? Oh, the town city layout. We've got like a city center with like whatever you would expect in the city center, but then everyone's kind of separated as far as their houses. They got plenty of space to themselves, and there's just no issues with that whatsoever.
Yep. Nope.
'Cause
Perfect,
it's a perfect
world.
world.
It's huge. There's so much space in this world.
Have the common ancestor schooling method,
Yes.
where you start broad and go specific, including adventuring. I really like the idea of an adventuring school.
There is a whole
that
adventuring
you can
tree.
just do.
We're just
Yep,
going
because
full
it's a perfect
fantasy
world.
here. Our perfect world is just fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We didn't include enough sci-fi.
We've got internet
I
and
like
swords.
fantasy better than sci-fi.
Yeah.
We just need
Yeah.
the internet.
We've got internet. We've got everything that comes with the internet, and then weapons. It's just swords and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe very primitive guns.
Maybe.
Good old
I thought-
arquebus.
Oh wait, that's
The
one that
primitive
you
gun.
won, so it's up
You're
to
an
her.
arquebus. Yeah, that was Gretchen. Gretchen won.
That was Gretchen's victory, so yeah. It's
So
up to her.
there aren't guns. There's
Yeah,
just
no
swords.
guns, just-
we
just
have
swords.
crossbows and stuff.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Crossbows are gun-like.
Yeah. Close enough. I'm happy.
the common ancestor of guns. I don't know. We've got flying stores with just Nimbus clouds that fly to you, pick you up, carry your stuff, do all the annoying parts for you.
Yep.
There's no bougie Gucci.
Yes. Eliminate bougie Gucci fashion.
High fashion is gone.
Yep.
You can still express yourself however you want.
Pretty much.
You're just
Yep.
not bougie for it anymore.
Yeah.
You can have any animal you want as a pet as long as it consents.
Yep.
I just wrote Dragon D's Part 2.
Is this the part where you're like,
Oh,
I'm gonna
government! The government is the dragons.
Okay.
That's what it is. No, that's not the part where I had no idea what I was going to remember. So everybody is just ruled by dragons, and the dragons are benevolent, and they know what's best because they're dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For plants, you have a bunch of little plant servants around the house, and it's consensual. And there's also ants and stuff. There's just sentient plants. They exist. And villains are hot, rich, smart, unhinged dragons, and they have a tower.
And a sad backstory.
And a sad backstory. Very sad backstory. You feel for the villain. You like,
Oh yeah.
if you're taking out the villain, you're crying while doing so.
What if the villain's taking me out?
Tallying up the points here. We've got Gretchen with 4 points. And Alan with 8 points.
Let's go! And it's symmetrical! Thank you,
You have a winner speech?
I have created most of the perfect world. This is what I'm gonna run for on my ballot when I go try and get elected for world-class ruler of the entire world. I will run on this premise. I'm just make the world into this. Don't worry about the execution. I got this.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Exactly. And thank you. Finally, I now have to do work. Because I have to host next week. Oh boy.
Got any final words, Gretchen?
All hail our dragon overlords.
All hail our dragon overlords. See you next week.